Following our latest video of the first top 5 of our top 10 Formula 1 drivers of 2020, we start with the final 5. Number 5, Charles Leclerc. Having underlined his star qualities in 2019, Leclerc followed up on a fantastic debut season with Ferrari by turning in arguably an even more impressive season, despite the team's woeful lack of competitiveness. Leclerc consistently dragged the maximum out of his painfully slow SF1000 car and provided Ferrari with some highlights in what was otherwise a nightmarish season it will want to forget in a hurry. The Monegasque highlighted why Ferrari was right to back him over Sebastian Vettel as he completely obliterated his 4-time world champion teammate, who endured a torrid season in comparison in the sister car. 2 unlikely podium finishes in Austria and Silverstone were the obvious standouts of Leclerc's season, but his qualifying form was also supreme as he notched up 9 Q3 appearances and managed a best result of 4th place as he took Ferrari's 2020 car to places it probably shouldn't have been. Providing Leclerc can iron out some lasting rookie-esque tendencies by the time Ferrari's fortunes improve, he will undoubtedly be right up there battling for wins and world championships. Number 4, Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo knew he was leaving Renault for pastures new at McLaren before a wheel had even been turned in anger in 2020. But that did not stop him from delivering a breakthrough season for the French manufacturer. Undeterred by his impending departure to midfield rivals McLaren, Ricciardo remained focused as he built on a steady first campaign with Renault to improve its fortune significantly in year 2 of the relationship. It took until the British Grand Prix before Renault really started getting the most from its 2020 package, and from there on in, Ricciardo shined. There were 7 top 5 appearances topped off by 2 visits to the podium and subsequent shoeies. Ricciardo ended Renault's 9-year wait for a rostrum in Germany and followed that up with another 3rd place at Imola. Ricciardo leaves the team nicely poised for 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso's arrival next year at the rebranded Alpine squad. Ricciardo heads to a resurgent McLaren that is going to be boosted by having the best engine in F1 at the back of its car. Number 3, Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez produced a truly outstanding 2020 season. The Mexican confessed Racing Point's controversial RP20 Challenger was the best car he'd ever driven after pre-season testing, and his assessment was justified with a brilliant campaign. Racing Point was frustrated to have only scored 1 podium by the halfway mark of the campaign, given it boasted the fastest car of the midfield, having scored points in every race he finished. That was despite missing both Silverstone rounds, where Perez felt Racing Point's performance was strongest, as Perez's consistency proved hugely important in his rise up the championship order. He followed up an excellent 2nd place finish in Turkey with a stunning last to first fairy tale maiden victory at the 190th attempt in Bahrain, 1 week after he lost a certain podium due to an engine failure. After putting in the strongest season of his career, Perez is fully deserving of his chance to drive race-winning machinery at Red Bull. Number 2, Max Verstappen. 2020 was the year that Max Verstappen matured and highlighted beyond all doubt that he is ready for a title push. His Red Bull equipment let him down at times, but the Dutchman was the only driver close to Hamilton's level. A remarkably consistent start to the year and run of 9 podiums from the opening 12 races kept Verstappen within touching distance of a potential championship challenge, but 5 costly retirements ultimately ended his hopes. DNFs through no fault of his own in Austria, all 3 rounds in Italy and the 2nd race in Bahrain left the paddock wondering what could have been from a season he ended just 9 points behind Bottas. Turkey aside, where Red Bull got the balance of his RB16 completely wrong, which in part led to a spin en route to a subpar 6th place, Verstappen got the maximum out of every weekend this year. With a faster start out of the blocks from Red Bull and better reliability, Verstappen would be a menace to Hamilton's bid to become the outright most successful driver in history in 2021. Number 1, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton reached new heights in 2020, a year in which he cemented himself as statistically the most successful driver in F1 history alongside campaigning for equality and an anti-racism push. 11 wins and 10 pole positions from the 16 races he contested would suggest that Hamilton had by far the best car on the grid, as he blew away the competition to secure the title with 3 races to spare to match Michael Schumacher's long-standing record of 7 world championships. It was a season in which he also set a new record for most wins of all time, eclipsing Schumacher's tally in Portugal. Bottas often ran Hamilton close in qualifying, but Hamilton was simply in a different league on race day, turning his Saturday deficit into victory at the Nürburgring and Imola, with his superior racecraft and abilities in wheel-to-wheel combat coming to the fore. Notable highlights came in qualifying for both the Styrian and Belgian GP rounds, as well as his methodical approach which resulted in a title-sealing wet weather masterclass in Turkey, on a day in history when his Mercedes was not the fastest car on track. Rare errors at Monza and Sochi acted as minor blotches in what was an otherwise flawless campaign, as Hamilton asserted his supremacy at the top. Worryingly for his rivals, neither his speed nor motivation is showing any signs of dropping. So do you agree with our top 10 drivers of the 2020 Formula 1 season? Which order would you have selected? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Crash.net.